Virginia, tell me a little bit about your book.
Well, my book is called Cube Bead Stitching, and it's mainly about cube beads. And the beads are made by two manufacturers, and I've used them in some new designs.
What inspired you to write this book?
Well, actually, it was the cube beads. I saw an ad for the 1.5 millimeter cube beads when they first came out, and I just said, I've got to have those. So I started making things, and I found there were not many designs specifically for the cube beads. So every time I learned a new stitch, I would play around with the cube beads, and I wasn't that, I was kind of a beginner at that point, but I just was attracted to the cube beads. So I started making designs with them, and pretty soon I had accumulated quite a few. And that's kind of where the book originated. I had a number of designs that I hadn't seen anywhere else. So I just put them all together and made a proposal.
Is this book geared towards the beginner, or what level is this book geared towards?
It's all levels. At the beginning of each section I give an easy piece, and then as the section goes through, the pieces get a little more difficult. So even if you're a beginner or an advanced beater, you can still find something to make and enjoy from the book.
So tell me, what kind of things do you make with cube beads in this book?
There are all kinds of things, earrings and bracelets and necklaces. And then I've done a number of pieces in the cube bead stitching book that are decorative. I call them decorative pieces. And there are several stars, there's a cross, and they're based on a new way of working. The cube beads are real suited to a stitch that has been called up to now St. Petersburg chain, but what I did with it was I began to do more with it than just make a chain, and I attached it around a circle of 11 beads and made points off of the circle, and then I attached it around a box of beads and made points off the box, and that's how the crosses evolved. So I just played around with that simple chain and made it do things.
What have you learned from teaching that you've incorporated into this book?
To be patient. I think probably that's the main thing. I don't have a lot of people to teach where I am, and I haven't traveled all that much, but I think I probably learned to, because you have to write the instructions, you have to be patient, and you have to be specific, and you have to be regular, and thanks to the Kalmbach editors, I'm much more regular in the book than I am in actuality. So,
great. Would you tell us what influenced your choice of colors for some of the pieces in this book?
Boy, I don't know. You know, color's so subjective. I have my own likes and dislikes in the way of color. When I first started making things, I noticed there was a lot of what I call orchestral color. It's like they have the full orchestra of color, every color you can think of. And I think sometimes it was meant to be so you could wear it with anything. But what I like is kind of a little, a jazz combo or a blues band, so you can mix and match things, but they're all sort of within a range. So I sort of follow my own instincts there.
What would you want someone to know who was looking for a book and came across your book?
I'd want them to try the cube beads. I find them real special. They have a different look, and I think contemporary is one way to think of them, and they have a different workability. Because the sides are flat, they hold together, and you can make things hold their shape in a way that you can't do with round beads. And so there are reasons to try those particular beads. They have their own unique set of qualities.
So this sounds like a great and rather complete book. So what are you going to do differently in the second book?
Well, I thought it would be fun for people to develop depth in a stitch. And so I set the book up so that you begin learning the stitch. You do a real simple piece, but still you end up with a piece you can wear. And then you move on to something that's more and more complex and shows more aspects of the way the stitch works. And I've done this in particular with herringbone and with the step stitch, and then a little bit with the ladder stitch, because those are the ones that are most suitable to the cube beads.